everyone. Welcome to the Wrestling Fans Insight Sunday Takedown. I'm your host, John Hoppe, and we actually have a return. William, welcome back finally.
Sorry.
He sounds excited to be here.
And we know he's back.
Are you holding him gunpoint in order to be at this podcast today, or what?
Well, I mean, we know he's back to normal because it's just the one-word response, like usual. Right. The very entertaining, very energetic, the very charismatic William. And he's giving me a thumbs up. So, okay, you okay? You good?
Like I told you before, I'm still feeling a little bit ratty. I apologize for being out for so long. Just my body has not been happy. So,
well, we were starting to wonder if maybe you and Heather have been hanging out with each other or something, you know.
You never know.
Oh, Lordy. Well, we also have our very enthusiastic host here, Carlos. How you doing, brother?
Good to be back. Another Sunday, ready to talk about some wrestling. I love our intro. During our intro that Bryan made the whole time, I'm like, it's gotta be Kane, like with all the fire and in my little JR voice, it's gotta be Kane.
I was gonna say maybe we can get Finger 11 to endorse us to let us use that little bit of music there. Of course, they would probably shit a brick and tell us, go to hell. So
right. No, we gotta be hip. We need a little Uzi on here. Isn't that what all the kids are listening to now these days?
Yes. But welcome to the show, everyone, to Sunday Takedown. We are going to cover last week's for AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door. Unfortunately, though, for our listeners, William was not able to catch it, but he's willing to chime in at any time. We're gonna give him the exemption today, just to say, what the fuck?
No, I'm on bad monkey status for this one.
Oh yeah. It's like the pay-per-view of the year. He's definitely on bad monkey status.
Oh, man. Well, unfortunately, I already changed the pattern, but we'll just say here it is, just for William. The bad
this
monkey.
This is Carlos's bad monkey nacho cheese popcorn. At least you got the hyphen right this time. My gosh, look, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
You mean apostrophe?
Apostrophe, yeah. See, I'm there. There you go.
Hey, yeah, take that.
I'm from a small town, okay? Leave him alone.
Oh, I don't know.
We got three stoplights.
Yes, no kidding. Hello,
Facebook user. Welcome.
Oh, I know who it is because the next comment is going to give it away right away. But hello, Cody Sturmer from Richfield, Utah. So he says maybe
are you his ice cream man or something or what?
Well, I used to be. That was actually on the route I was on just before I was promoted to the fleet manager position with the company.
He dumped you when you guys dumped the Choco Tacos. Huh?
No, I dumped them. It was they kind of made it a bigger deal than what they should have, I felt, but you know.
But people don't like change, you know. They like their regular route guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's not to take anything away from the new guy on the route, but I definitely got a lot of phone calls saying how sorely missed I have been, or everyone's sorely missed me, I should say. Bad choice of words there. But yeah, I do miss a lot of the people I used to visit down there. But you know, it is what it is. It was time to move on, and
you can't be mad when you're moving on up.
Yeah, it wasn't something I was looking forward to this quick in my, I guess you can say, somewhat younger years. But yeah, I wasn't going to take advantage. I would have been stupid not to take advantage, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I appreciate the kind words I've been getting from the owners of the company and a lot of the other staff in the office. So to know that I'm actually doing a good job in the position I'm in for as early as I am in it. Yeah, it's been a different experience for sure. So
Kenworths.
Yeah. But anyways, enough about my personal life. Sorry, folks.
Man, is this the John Hoppe hour? Damn.
I guess, you know, it's almost like I'm the podcast owner or some shit like that. So
Look at him trying to get himself over again.
Yeah, I know. I'm a mark for myself, as Triple H said to Matt Cardona about a bunch of times. So, anyhow, why don't we get right to it? I thought this was an overall great card for AEW New Japan Forbidden Door #2. Let's go ahead and go over the results real quick, and then we'll kind of give our takes on what we thought of the card. In the 0 hour, Mogul Embassy ends up defeating Chaos for the Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal for the women's. Athena moves on, defeating Billy Starks. El Fantasmo gets the victory over Stu Grayson. And I may need some help at pronouncing this name, Carlos. Los Ingobernables de Japón defeating United Empire.
You did good there.
Okay. Yeah, I
Igor Nables, but yeah, you did it fine.
So
can you say tortilla for me right now? You say it like Jeff Jarrett, tortilla?
I gotta kiss my ass.
Tortillas.
Yeah, we're already starting off the podcast with cuss fest here. So just out of curiosity, what does their name mean anyways?
I don't know. Shit, I'm third generation born in the United States. Like the faction day something. I don't know. Like I think it's just evil faction. I'm not sure.
Obviously of Japan, but I didn't know what Los Ingobernables means. So anyways, let's go to the main card.
Thanks for making me look bad now. Put me on the spot.
Well, you know, I just figured you would know, but
because I'm brown.
Here we go. Now he's playing the race card. No, because you actually knew your shit on this pay-per-view event, so I was actually trying to give you kudos here because
way to save your ass.
Right. Well, I tried to. For the main card, the AEW World Championship, MJF successfully retains over Hiroshi Tanahashi. In the Owen Hart Cup men's quarterfinal, CM Punk moves on over Satoshi Kojima. The AEW International Championship four-way match, Orange Cassidy retains over Daniel Garcia, Zack Sabre Jr., and Katsuyori Shibata.
Baby daddy.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Sonata successfully defends over Jungle Boy Jack Perry. In the 10-man tag, the Elite Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii defeats the Blackpool Combat Club, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino. AEW Women's World Championship match, Toni Storm defeats Willow Nightingale. IWGP United States Championship, Will Ospreay regains the United States Championship over Kenny Omega. In the trios match, Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya Naito defeats Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. In the main event, which, goddamn, that was a pretty good event. Bryan Danielson defeating Kazuchika. Fuck off, Will.
Okada.
Thank you. We'll just call him Okada.
Jesus.
God, I'm sucking today.
Katsuchika.
You're setting yourself up for failure. Like, just keep it simple. Dumb it down,
The worst part was I pronounced his name fine off air, but here
are you wearing a kimono now too to try to seem like you're all that, like you're the shit? I mean,
no. God, I don't need to embarrass myself any more than what I usually do. So thanks, Carlos. Anyhow, why don't we get your takes on what you thought of the entire card?
So, do you want to go match by match, or just give an overall synopsis?
If you want to give a match by match, that's fine. I was just gonna give kind of just quick notes on what I thought.
So I thought to me, the one thing that the card was really entertaining. I think it was like the best card of the year so far. The one thing for me though is like I feel like the World Championship matches shouldn't be the worst matches on the card, and that's what they were. Like for me, like Tanahashi just doesn't have it no more. And then people were like, oh, don't be disrespecting me as a legend. But no, the match sucked. He should have been on the pre-show, and again, when you're going to go against the AEW World Champion, you need to have someone that brings it, and so that match, it just, to me, like that's my least favorite MJF match he's ever had. I loved CM Punk and Kojima. I thought that was a really good match. And again, thank you, Toronto, for doing your job, for booing CM Punk. I'm excited that we're going to be getting heel Punk here pretty soon. And the same thing for Jungle Boy and Sonata. Like, that match just fell flat to me. Like, because it's like, Jungle Boy just isn't there yet, and again, it was a really entertaining card for me. Next year I would like to see if they do this, which they're going to do it again. I want to see like a faction warfare. Like, I want to see, like Bullet Club Gold versus Bullet Club of the Elite, seeing all the different factions and, in New Japan versus the factions of AEW, and then give me champion versus champion. I get that both brands are trying to protect their wrestlers while they're doing this card. But for me, I think if MJF beats Sonata, with cheating, I don't think that's going to hurt Sonata at all, for me. And then for me too, I think just going forward, like, I would like to see like maybe like Miro versus Ishii, like for me, as someone who watches a lot of wrestling, like a lot of these guys already fight each other in either New Japan or they're fighting each other around here. So I think going forward, it'd be kind of just cool to really see matches that we really don't see, guys that usually don't go to Japan fighting the guys that are from New Japan, instead of it being the guys that always fight them anyways. But overall, it was really good. Again, Kenny and Ospreay brought it. I mean, that match was amazing. I mean, just the amount of, again, thank you for putting your bodies on the line like that. Then the Elite and like against Blackpool Combat Club and Friends, that was just a really good match too. Like I remember, like, I was watching on my phone. I had to go back and watch it because it was just such an entertaining match. And I thought the main event was really good too. I love that Tony Khan got Bryan Danielson the final countdown song. It just made it seem like a big match. And even though it wasn't the match of the night, I think it definitely deserved the main event. And again, kudos to me for getting that right and calling, MJF was the opening match. But I just thought it was a good match. And again, for Danielson to go another 10 minutes, even after he broke his arm, and I just liked I loved his creativity, because I think he couldn't put on his regular finisher, so he just got creative with the finish he put on Okada, and I love the way he ended it. It was like just kind of violence. It was just like a neat, different take on something. And again, the whole card just flew. And again, thank you for giving us all the pre-show matches. Again, as a wrestling fan, I definitely felt fulfilled with the card.
No, Will actually, not to kind of put this on pause a little bit, but Will actually looked up what does Los Ingobernables de Japón mean.
Yeah.
It's the
Ungovernables.
Thank you, of Japan. So
Okay.
kind of like Japan Misfits is what it
And
sounds.
so that's what the group is with Preston Vance. They're the ones in Mexico then.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Okay.
it fits them very well. I mean, if you've watched New Japan Pro Wrestling, watch that faction. Now that actually makes a lot of sense right there why they used that name. So, but
Oh yeah, like I say again, for like next year, seeing them versus the Blackpool Combat Club would be cool. Like, that's what I mean. But like the whole gang warfare thing would be pretty fun to watch.
oh yeah, it
And
definitely.
too, like I think for Forbidden Door too, like to get more people like on the card too. Like my one last like to me like this Eliminator tag team thing they're doing right now on Dynamite. That could be something they do for Forbidden Door. Have the people from New Japan mixed in there. And this is also I think the card too would be their chance to do like Survivor Series like tag matches. There's just a lot of different things they can do to get more talent on there and definitely make it more interesting. But again, it's still entertaining as shit. I mean, I love the show.
And I have to say this, I think this year actually outdid last year by quite a bit as far as the card.
You had a lot more of the roster there.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like is last year Hiroshi Tanahashi also had the AEW World Championship match, which last year back then was being defended by John Moxley.
Well, no, they were fighting for the Vacant Championship.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, it's because CM Punk got injured.
Okay. But still, I mean, either way, he's still fighting for the
again, yeah. And it's like, yeah.
It just that kind of irritated me a little bit because he had his chance last year. And he got another chance this year. That doesn't quite make sense. It should have went to somebody that was a little more deserving.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Again, like if they're gonna do these kind of things, like I mean, I get they're both trying to protect their roster, but you got to I mean, to me, like if you're make it just champion versus champion, or again give somebody who's a bigger star that like an Okada, if he can take the loss, why can't someone else do it? Again, if you're gonna be doing these kind of shows, there's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with New Japan giving AEW more of the wins here, and then eventually you have AEW guys go over to New Japan and then they return the favor.
Yeah. Um, I love the fact that how hot this crowd remained actually throughout the entire pay-per-view. We didn't seem like we had much of a dead spot. If anything, it was again, sadly, for mostly the women's championship match. But even then, it still wasn't that bad. So I think the card overall definitely was way better than what was it, Revolution, the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, the last one was Double or Nothing. That
Oh,
was the
Double or
one.
Nothing. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, Double or Nothing just really fell flat. I thought it was a very disappointing card, but then here they are, the next pay-per-view, and it's like they hit a home run compared to the last card. It's like, what the hell, guys?
And I
This
agree, and that's the thing where again, like I mentioned it in the other one, I think we're Tony Khan when you're gonna have two pay-per-views so close to each other, just book out to where if someone's gonna be on Double or Nothing, don't necessarily have to worry about putting them on Forbidden Door, and that's something that I think hopefully that they correct the next year. But yeah, it was like night and day.
oh, it was. I mean, it just I really didn't have high hopes for this based off Double or Nothing. It just took the wind out of me. Like, I get it. He was up against three other competitors with Impact, WWE, and NXT. But I mean, there was no excuse. That card should have been way better than what it was.
Well, they donated too much time to the elite storyline and stuff like that. And it's like in the combat club, it's just and it was like, and again, like it was just the buildup, like again, it's like hopefully he's learning, and hopefully these people that are on creative for Collision are earning his trust, and hopefully we get to see some better things down the line.
The only thing I would say I was a little disappointed was there was not a tag team championship match on the line.
That's what I was gonna just say too. Like
I
there
mean,
should have been a tag title match. Exactly. That's what I mean. There should be certain matches like champion versus champion. Like that's my whole. Like there should be certain things. I agree with you right there.
yeah, I mean, we didn't have the tag team championships or even a trios or a six-man tag team championships. I mean, and this is where I would say I would be a little disappointed in Tony Khan for not implementing some of the Ring of Honor championships in this too. I mean, if you're going to have Forbidden Door, let's get those multi brands going. Don't just keep it to AEW and New Japan. If you're going to call it Forbidden Door, shit, get them all involved. Hell,
And
even
that's what I mean.
throw some of Impact and NWA in there. Just like the All In event they had. Was it All In or All Out when they got all the promotions together?
All in. All in.
All In, yeah. I mean, because you had the NWA championship between Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis. You had like the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I believe it was Kenny Omega and Penta. So I
And then
mean,
Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis for the NWA title too.
yeah, I mentioned that. Sorry,
Oh, sorry.
they have Bad Monkey. Anyways,
I zoned you out. Sorry.
yeah,
Habit.
jeez. Usually it's me that makes that error. Thank you. But
But no,
no,
I agree, and that's why I said, like I was saying, like for me, like in going forward, like I would have do the like the what do you call it, the casino battle royal at this event, do like some couple like Survivor Series kind of the 10-man tag, you call it 10-man eliminator matches, like do some of those so you get more people in there, and then like you said, I agree with you, I would get these other people involved in there too. It just doing that would give more opportunity to have more people involved. And then also, again, if you have Double or Nothing so close to it, don't worry about having to put certain people in the card. Just let it be like, okay, we're gonna have champion versus champion, and then we're gonna have these three, 10-man. You can even do a women's 5 versus 5 match, so that way it gets everybody on the show more, And you could have like the women of All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor versus the women of Stardom and in Impact Wrestling. That'd be awesome.
yeah. And in fairness, I also mentioned it would have been nice to have the Ring of Honor in that pay per view. Well, yeah, we did have a couple of them in the 0 hour, but not the main card. So
But again, why
But
couldn't they? Like they could have defended the 6-man titles, you know. Like again, like Swerve was already on, and I was thinking again. Thank you, Tony Khan, for adding Brian Cage to the match because he wasn't really supposed to be on there. You know, if I knew Cage would have been there, that would have changed my pick. Let's just let the record state that.
but I guess what I was trying to get at is somebody was going to come at me and say, "Oh, well, didn't you watch 0 Hour?" Well, yeah, but problem is
But it's 0 Hour too. Yeah.
the problem is 0 Hour is available to everybody. You don't have to pay for 0 Hour. You have to pay for the main card, and people want to see some of that extra. Want to see more than just AEW and New Japan. They'll want to see Ring of Honor, NWA, Impact. Implement them. You know, let's get them in there. But
yeah, and you know, and again, and in the likelihood, you know, of for example, like, you know, we know like probably Tony Storm's not going to lose the title, so why not just have her and Athena team up as a tag team and have them fight 2 women from New Japan, you know? And that's the way to get Ring of Honor on there, you know. There's so many different ways they could go with it, and that's what I mean. Like, it's like hopefully, you know, down the line we just get to see more of these different kinds of styles implemented, you know. But again, you know, it's easy to nitpick it now. I mean, it was a good card, but there's definitely ways to get more people involved and be more creative with it.
so I already know what your top match of the night is, but even though we've already covered that, why don't let's get right into what we think our top 5 is. Why don't you rate it from 5 to 1? Tell me what you thought the best 5 matches were for that night.
So I would go with number 5 would probably be CM Punk and Kojima. Number 4 would be the
Through your
number 4 would be the match with Orange Cassidy. And you know, for the we call it the international title. For me, number 3 would be Danielson and Okada. Number 2 would be the Elite, the 10-man tag, and number 1 would be Ospreay and Omega.
All right. My number 5, I definitely would have to give that to the AEW International Championship. I thought it was well done despite the the fact you got 3 different champions in that match. I think Daniel Garcia was the only non-champion in that entire match. So
Yeah,
that was pretty cool to implement those 4 guys into what was a very spectacular match. My number 4 definitely has to go to. I thought it was a, I thought it was a better match than what people give it for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I thought Jungle Boy Jack Perry did a very great job against Sonata. He shows he's got a great future ahead of him. The real big shocker was watching Jungle Boy do the heel turn on Hook, and kudos to you, Carlos, for calling that.
yeah.
Carlos called that on our predictions podcast, and I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought we were going to see Hook do the heel turn on Jungle Boy, which that was not the case. So
I called it that would happen at the event too.
you did. Kudos to you. Good monkey. My number 3 match I thought was pretty decent for a 10-man tag match because I don't generally get into matches that have that many people unless it's a Survivor Series traditional match. But I thought the Elite Eddie Kingston, Tomohiro Ishii, and defeating the Blackpool Combat Club, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino, I don't think we could have seen a better performance, especially seeing the conflicts with Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. That told a good story right there, right in the middle of the match. And then watching Eddie have a fight with the Elite post match.
And Eddie's over. I mean, Eddie is that guy. I mean, I want to see Eddie as champion. I mean, he just proved again that he's over with the crowd. Like even like Bully Race talked about it on Busted Open. It's like when Eddie Kingston talks, you believe him. You know, he's just he's just such a unique talent. And I really hope that he gets his flowers and eventually gets to be a champion in either ROH or AEW.
I think he will in due time, and who knows? He might be the one to dethrone Claudio. And sorry, Gil Mary, I hate to say that out loud. Shout out to one of our friends, Gil Mary.
Can't be champion. He can't be champion forever. You know.
Yeah, I would love to see Eddie have the top prize, no matter which promotion it is. I think he would make a great champion. I think many people are hoping that he dethrones MJF, but right now, I just don't see him as the guy to dethrone MJF at the moment. It could change maybe if they progress his creative a little bit. Who knows?
Oh, but their promo battles would be amazing. I mean, my God.
Oh yeah,
I
both
could-
of them can cut a promo to the
Oh
heart.
yeah.
I mean, especially MJF, as much of a dickhead as he can be,
Yeah.
he can throw a promo that hooks, line, and sinkers you like Jake the Snake Roberts or anyone else.
Yep.
My number 2 match definitely goes to Bryan Danielson and Okada. They put on one hell of a match, and much like you, I really enjoyed that very surprising use of the final countdown for Bryan Danielson's one-off theme music. I thought it was very spectacular to throw that in there between which I feel is 2 of the greatest professional wrestlers in today's wrestling world.
And that was, I think that might have been the match that I called. Did you guys both pick Okada, or did you pick Danielson to win that match?
No,
I think you both picked Okada, right?
1 second. I think I picked Danielson. 1 second here. Now you're making me go back to my old written notes here.
Put you on the spot.
Actually, you and I both picked Bryan Danielson.
Oh, nice. And again, I'm glad that he finally was selfish a little, that he needed that big win, and I'm glad that he finally got it, because he's given so much to all the other talent. I was so glad to just finally see him be a little selfish and be like, I know, it's time for me to pick up a win.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, my number 1 match, I knew this should have been probably more of the main event than anything. Not taking anything away from Danielson and Okada, but the IWGP United States Championship between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. I think we're going to keep seeing that feud go another year if they can do it right. But it shows you how important they've made that United States Championship match or championship since the birth of IWGP first initiating it, because Kenny Omega was the inaugural champion, and then having Will Ospreay win it, I think it was over a year ago, and then comes back and gets it back. We might keep seeing a little bit of a back and forth between these two, and I'm not going to be disappointed if we do keep watching that feud continue. Somehow, maybe Will Ospreay kind of has a little bit of a allegiance with the Blackpool Combat Club. Who knows?
But even I like the thing I like about about that thing too is it just if after they had an interview with Ospreay, and he's with Don Callis, and he's like, okay, I don't need you anymore, get lost, I like the fact that he's, even though he took the help, he's still standing on his own, he's still his own man. He's badass, dude. I love that. And again, I love a cocky heel, so again, I'm all about that, dude.
Hell yeah. I mean, I met him on the last Chris Jericho cruise I went on, which was triple whammy, and he was definitely the superstar on that ship that year. I mean, nobody had a bad thing to say about the guy. He's a very humble person. I mean, if any of you watched the media scrum after Forbidden Door, you saw how humble he was, even just talking to the media that night, giving Kenny Omega his flowers too. And I tell you, he's one guy that if I could meet again in person, I got a few questions to ask him.
And again, the thing I respect about him too is the fact that he puts his own mental health above everything else, and the fact that he likes working in Japan because he doesn't want to leave home. And I think when somebody's like that, where they know themselves, and there's somebody who, I'm not going to just go chasing the bag, that makes me respect them even more,
Yeah. And you listen to Bryan Danielson, Jesus. He did a really great job with the media scrum too. Because
so good. Oh my gosh.
He was very humble and giving up not just him, Okada, but everybody on the card their just due respect.
Yeah.
I
and
find
just him
it
talking to go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I find it interesting, though. He looks forward to hopefully working with Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, which are 2 of the biggest faces right now for AEW. I think those would be some killer matches if they can find a way to mesh their styles together.
Oh yeah, he would just totally be making fun of Orange Cassidy. This is not a joke. you're fickle. I could see that. I could totally see that feud.
And he, much like all the
And with
other,
Darby just bringing out Darby's more dark side, yeah.
yeah, I think when you listen to a lot of the veteran talent compared to Orange Cassidy, you'll notice the common denominators. They all said at first they couldn't stand him, but when they finally got to know him and watch him a little more, they flat out say it out loud. This guy is a damn good wrestler. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent, and I don't think people understand how good this guy really is. So I'm looking to see, hopefully, after if he drops that AEW International Championship, maybe we'll see him get to the upper titles like the TNT Championship, maybe even possibly the AEW World Championship at some point.
I would have no problem if he beat MJF. I think even Darby Allin too. I think both those guys are the future of that company. I know. I mean, Orange Cassidy is a little older, but at the same time, he I agree. Like again, I thought again he's just unique and different. But again, to me, again, he's the kind of talent where again it makes me happy to have a company like AEW where they let somebody come in with their own gimmick. They gave him the chance to get over and prove himself. Where if he was to go to WWE, that would never happen. So just to me, like he is all elite wrestling. Like he is kind of like what it stands for. It's like somewhere you can just go and be yourself. And when it's like, and he got over doing it, they gave him a chance to do it. And he's definitely earned my respect a lot, especially with this title reign. He's been amazing.
Why don't we get right into the predictions? First, why don't we start off with our honorary guest from last week, Ted the Hillbilly Hill. He threw in a few of his predictions. He took a guess on 5 matches. Well, as we recorded 5 matches, he got 4 out of the 5 right. So, in honorary mention, Ted the Hillbilly Hill, 80% correct on
what was the one he missed?
I believe it was. He actually bet on Okada over Danielson.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, him and Bryan both bet on Okada, while you and I bet on Danielson. So I think you're gonna have to give up your tag team partner there and switch to my side, brother. Just kidding,
Damn.
Bryan. Damn. Oh no. But coming in the 3rd place from last week's predictions, Bryan, he was 9 out of 13. I was 2nd, 10 out of 13. And squeaking the top, how the hell he did it, Carlos, you were 11 for 13, brother. Keep in mind, though, we weren't able to see Adam Cole and Tom Lawler.
But we all picked Adam Cole, so.
No, actually, Bryan picked Tom Lawler.
Oh God, I would beat him by 2.
Well, Bryan wants the point because he picked Tom Lawler. He says because Adam Cole's sick, that should be considered a forfeit. I'm like, come on, Bryan, really? And even from your tag team partner, he gave you the thumbs down on that. So that's a hell no. But anyways, well, did you have any other final thoughts on what you thought of Forbidden Door?
No, like I said, it was just a good card. I'm glad I got to watch it live and took the day off to watch it. Again, it's just can't miss. Again, I just look forward to maybe them seeing them just changing up next year. But again, it's just thank you. I mean, it's just this makes you proud to be a fan of professional wrestling. And again, it just kudos to all the talent for putting on a spectacular show.
And I can't say it enough. It was a great card. I would like to see a few changes next year, much like you said. I would definitely like to see a little more involvement with the other promotions. Because if we're going to have this a Forbidden Door, let's make this a full-on Forbidden Door. So,
that's for me. Like I hope that I want to see that. I want to see that relationship with AEW and Impact Wrestling repaired. And it's weird because they do mention Impact on Ring of Honor. So again, I'm hoping that relationship can be repaired because I agree with you. Like let's make it all inclusive.
And I would like to see NWA kind of get in there as well. Because
oh hell no.
Come on. I'm sorry, but the last NWA pay-per-view event I watched, I actually have to give them their props. The Crockett Cup was a really good pay-per-view event, actually. So, uh, but anyways, do you have any shout outs to give out there?
God, no, Tyrus versus MJF. Oh yeah, let me see that. Fuck no.
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be Tyrus and MJF. Jesus,
Yeah.
there's more talent than Tyrus. I'm sorry.
So shout outs, I mean, just the regular, I mean, NWL Machine, our fans, our friends at Mooncutters, Vader from Wish. Shout out to our other person, Heather, Bama Girl Forever, is here, Obey Jess. And again, Patrick and all his guys with the affiliate, is it the affiliates?
Yep, the sports affiliates.
Sports affiliates, that group. Again, they support us. And just all my friends on Twitter who are all wrestling fans. Again, thank you guys. Eric, Marcy, and then Carrie, and then also Gil and Mary. Just thank you guys for our group chat. We had a lot of fun in there. That's all I got. I'm good.
Good God, you didn't even give me any shout outs there. You took like almost everyone I could think of. So, but
you got your fan in the van, right?
Yeah, I'll give shout out to Fan in the Van. Is This a Bad Take podcast? Two Dudes Sports News, Brutally Honest Sports, Places Vegas with Coil, or Visit Vegas Places with Coil. Also want to throw out Wrestling World with Austin Boyer there. Wrestling with the Truth with BC Hunter. Also want to give a shout out to Carolina Carol Buck. She's always retweeting our stuff as well. Same with Amber Holly. And big shout out to Cody Sturmer down there in Richfield, Utah, and Kevin and Libby, Montana. Thank you guys all for giving us a listen. Always giving a share and a retweet to all our podcast episodes out there. And I really want to take the last minute to say thank you to Libsyn.com for breaking the ground for us and letting us start our podcast with them. Libsyn was our host at the very start, and this week we have actually decided to move on to a new host. We have decided to transfer over to Spotify for podcasters. Everything that Libsyn has done for us, it did not go unnoticed. It was a tough decision to make, but unfortunately, as we progress, we also have to look at other options out there. So, but thanks again, Libsyn. You were an awesome host to us and a good home for us at the very start. And who knows, we may change our mind in the future and move back. So, but Will, did you have any shout outs to give?
I have nothing.
All righty. Well, for that moment, we will be back again for Tuesday Night Chaos. For Carlos, myself, John, we wish you all a good week. We'll see you again Tuesday night.